Hello, everyone. I am here with Miss Tracey Paulfrey of Moving Forward Healthcare. I'm so excited to be on her channel and take a chance to participate with this conversation that you have going on. I am so excited that you and I have a chance to be here. I want to introduce you and let you say hello.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Barb, for having me. Super excited for the opportunity to talk about all the good stuff that we're getting ready to go over today.
Awesome. Well, that is super cool. One of the things that really stuck out when you and I had the first conversation was that you were telling me about the story of Broward Health and your opportunity that you had with them. And the quote that I actually wrote down and that I have been sharing with people is, when you stay ready, you're always ready. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's, I played sports, so that's one of the things that's synonymous, like, you know, in training and preparation and getting ready for something, you have to get your mindset going. Like, if competition happens right now, are you ready to go? And you use the training time to get ready. So with Broward Health, I just did my research and my time, and I thought about, like, how could I realistically solve the issues for the hospital? Like, if I had to go right then, if they're like, Tracey, here's your opportunity, go now, what would I need to have ready and what would I need to do to realistically do that? And so that was what my mindset went into. And that was the preparation mode that I went into. And so when I was in front of them, actually, funny story, everything kind of fell apart in terms of the technology. Like, nothing worked. I had to like my pretty slide deck, it was not happening. So I had to totally talk my way through it. So I closed my laptop and I was like, all right, guys, we're just going to have a conversation. We're just going to talk about this, you know, fantastic product that we represent, right, and how it really solves the issues for Broward Health. And because I was prepared to go in that moment, I didn't freak out about the laptop or the slides, or, right, and Lord knows I put my work in on the slides, but it's okay. You know, they got to see it later, but because I was ready mentally and I prepared for go time, that it just made that transition even more seamless.
Absolutely. I love that story. It is just awesome. And one of the reasons, obviously, that we're here today is because you have had an opportunity to really leverage your WBECFlorida certification. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get a chance to show and tell our viewers through your storytelling, which I have really enjoyed in the very short time that we've known each other, and get a chance to really tell us, you know, how this WBECFlorida certification has helped you, why you decided to get the certification in the first place, you know, just a little bit about what your perspective is, you know, and how it's worked for you.
Well, here's the thing. When you start building your corporation or your company, there is a lot of information out there. And unless you have a clear direction on where you want to go, you will easily get swayed and thrown off your path. And immediately out of the gate, a gentleman, I cannot remember his name now, said to me, Tracey, do you know about WBECFlorida? And this was like 2018. So we were birthed in August of 2018. So this was spring 2018 when we had this conversation. And I was like, no, I have no idea what that is. And he was like, that is where you need to start. So I researched it, saw very quickly the global impact that we would have, not just domestic to the United States, but globally, the kind of support that women need, right? And here's the beautiful thing, Barb. A lot of people like to hear themselves talk. A lot of people do a lot of talking. Look, a lot of talking. What I appreciate about WBECFlorida is that there's action steps.
Sure. Yeah.
There's tangible, realistic, applicable action steps that actually yield a result.
Right.
It's not pretty letters. It's not pretty writing. These are things that actually take you to success. Now, you have to be willing to do the work. Okay, you can't just have the template. You can't just have the template and drop in and be like, oh, I'm here. No. You have to be willing to do the work. And here's the thing. It was work to get our certification. It took us 18 months. And that was because of COVID. I know that's not the normal timeline, but the detail, the depth of information, who I had to speak to, the validation, the integrity, WeBank wants to make sure you are who you are. Because when you become a team member or an ambassador, you've gone through the vetting process. And that's what companies that they look at, like, oh, you've gone through the vetting process with WeBank, so we know you're legit. So it takes one step away from them having to do that because you guys already did that. Right. So you have to be willing to do the work. You have to understand the integrity and the type of brand that WeBank is bringing to the table. Does your company even line up with that? Are you ready for that type of ball game? Because it's easy to have acronyms behind your name and logos, but is it taking you to your goal and the mission of your company? Let's be real here. Those are all questions that I've asked myself. And obviously, because I'm here, it worked out, right? So I got to leverage our WeBank name in Broward Health and Jackson Healthcare System, who is a part of Moving Forward story. And Jackson was the first healthcare system to take a chance on me, by the way. And the reason they did, and at the time I wasn't certified by WeBank yet with Jackson, but as I was going through the process, I let them know, and they're like, oh, they threw their weight behind me then too, right? And then Broward Health, that was the main reason we had those conversations, aside from personal recommendations. And there it is, guys, when you do a good job as a vendor, 100%. There it is. They talk to each other, right? Yeah. Right. And then they saw, the first thing that procurement director saw is that we will be bank certified. And that changed the whole scope of the conversation. Yeah. He was like, that's all I needed to see. I know what you're bringing to the table. Right. I know your brand. Next step.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true. And one of the other things that really impressed me about you was that you, your last statement to me when we were on the phone was, I'm here to serve. I just love that. And that's so obviously connected to the mission of your wonderful company. And I want to give you a chance to really tell us a little bit about what you're doing, because you're changing the world over there. Let's
a little moving forward. So we're absolutely, our mission, one of the things I like to say is we're going to turn red oceans blue, and that comes from changing people's mindset. And that is a very hard thing to do. And it's a very scary thing to take on. You have to be brave to deal with that. And try running underneath the moniker of Black immigrant woman and do that. Right? It changes the landscape. So you have to be bold about what you're saying. Again, if you remember in the beginning, I said a lot of people like to hear themselves talk. I spent a lot of time in the healthcare space hearing everyone talk. And meanwhile, people are talking, patients are suffering. Meanwhile, people are talking, patients' voices are not being heard. Meanwhile, people are talking how these patients feel about their own treatment, and the outcome is being like swept under the rug. It was the need of the clinicians, and I love my clinicians, but it was the needs of the clinicians kind of first. And I was like, what's wrong with this? And I said, okay, we're going to change this. There's health disparities, there's health inequalities, there's digital divide, right? How do we bridge those things and bring the resources to an already marginalized community? Right. I thought about this. When I saw money go digital, I knew that healthcare was next. This was pre-COVID. And I was like, okay, I have got to pixelate myself. And then in pixelating myself in the mission, how do I make this accessible globally? And then I worked my way backwards, right? There is a huge, massive need for diabetic healthcare. There's a huge, massive need for information, advocacy, and access of technology. There's a huge, massive need of people getting real-time treatment that matches their life. We're talking about someone who lays brick for a living that has this massive wound on their foot. How do we help them continue to lay brick, because that's how they feed their family? Right. And give them a realistic treatment formula that actually has an outcome that matches their goal. How do we get people back into their lives? That is the mission of Moving Forward Healthcare. How do we make that person whole again? like utilizing the tools we have. How do I help you become whole again?
Right. And you're meeting them where they are in the community, and you're so involved, you know, with different aspects of the community, and the Sol, I'm going to let you speak to that, but save a leg, save
a life.
Alive. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the neatest things I've seen in a long time, because it matches so beautifully with what you all are doing. And I'll let you talk to that.
So moving forward, flagship is we're B2C driven with B2B capabilities. And B2C means directly to the, not just the consumer, but the community. What does that look like, right? So Sal is education, advocation, treatment formularies, and we're meeting people where they are in the communities that we serve, right? Limb salvage is massive. Peripheral artery disease, a lot of people don't even know what that is. Diabetic healthcare, we hear diabetes, but do we really understand that this leads to amputation? And the lifespan of someone who has an amputation is like 5 years post-amputation. And I'm going to tie my little tiny island where I'm from into this. Jamaica at one point was the leading country in the world for amputations.
I didn't know that.
We have less than 3.2 million people. We're smaller than Rhode Island, but we're leading the world in amputations. I could not, in my right mind, sit on the soil of the United States of America and watch my birth country just suffer. I had to do something. And that's when I partnered up with Save a Leg and Save a Life. And it was like, this is our thing. This is what we're going to do. We're riding this wave, and we're going to get access to not just the island, but also globally and domestically. How can we help?
Yeah. And we were talking about how can people help is getting on Amazon Smile, right?
Yes.
Yes. And so guys, I know everybody shops on Amazon. It's not an ad for them, but if you type in smile.amazon, is it smile.amazon? Anyway, you go to Amazon Smile and you choose your charity, Save a Leg, Save a Life. I'm not sure how it's listed, SAL, or Save a Leg, Save a Life. But 5% of all of the purchases then go to that charity. So
that's right.
I'd love to, have us support that. I just am so excited that we got a chance to talk. I didn't want to make this a giant long talk, but I'm so interested in hearing more of your story. So we want to bring you back and dive deeper. But obviously, WBEC certification has brought you some authority and recognition in order to be able to do the hard work and make sure that you succeed that way. So I'm really excited that you're one of our members here at WBEC Florida. And I just wanted to thank you again so much for your time.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. And I just wanted to add one last caveat that and I know I'll be back, but I have to, I would be misrepresented if I did not mention this. When you build a company and you're a woman, there's a lot of people in your village, and you sometimes they come packaged and dressed like you, and sometimes they don't. And I have to take this moment to honor one of my mentors, Ted Day, who has passed since we created Moving Forward Healthcare. He believed in me from day one out of Rolla, Missouri. He was the CEO of a company called MOSI. MOSI is one of Moving Forward Healthcare's official partner, along with ETS Wound Care. And he saw something in me from the first meeting. He was like, you got it. And I'm going to support you. And I'm going to throw my weight behind you. And we're done here. And he gave us our seed money to get going.
Wow.
Right. One meeting with me, and he wrote a check because he saw the vision of where we were going. So not only did he write a check, but he supported us along the way with his knowledge, his resources, and his understanding of the business. And I cannot say thank you enough. So Ted, I know you're up there watching this, and we appreciate it. And I hope we make you proud.
Absolutely. I'm sure you do. Your passion is absolutely contagious. And I can imagine that anybody who has one meeting with you will feel the same way. Well, you guys, please tell us how to get in touch with you, Miss Tracey. Are you, go ahead.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
like everywhere,
website.
social media.
Well, yeah, no, we
No,
know
so
that. She's everywhere, but
so
moving
we're on
forward.
Twitter and Moving Forward Health. We're on Instagram, Moving Forward Healthcare, YouTube, Moving Forward Healthcare, and Facebook. So, and if you can't find me that way, which is hard, you'll find me that way. And, it's Tracey Gardner Paulfrey. You'll find me that way too.
Just type in Tracey and you'll start getting it. And if anybody wants to talk about certification, my name is Barb and we are here to help you. Just go to WBECFlorida.org and here we are. But thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you spending about 15 minutes with us. Take care.
My pleasure.
Bye. Thanks
Bye.
so much, Tracey. Take care.